Hi all, I'm waiting for other students to join in. We would be starting the session exactly at 5 p.m. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you to be a part of this session. So, what is the agenda of today's topic? I would be talking in English mostly because a lot of my friends down south won't be able to understand Hindi, but I would mix it with Hindi and English. Okay, is it fine? So, what is the topic of our session? Okay, so in this session, I would be guiding you on how to crack a top product based company. Okay, any company which falls under top product based company, not just those FANG companies जो कि LinkedIn influencers hype करके रखे हैं, ठीक है, as a fresher. What all skills you need to develop, what are the various topics you need to focus upon, the entire steps, the entire methodology, etc. Okay, so firstly, if you don't know me, okay, I am Ribhu Mukherjee and I am currently a software engineer in Qualcomm R&D. What is exactly Qualcomm? तुम्हारा Android phone उठा लो, take your Android phone, and mostly the chip, the Snapdragon chip is made by Qualcomm. Okay, so why, first of all, why I am doing this mentoring sessions? I have been mentoring students from past 2 years, starting from the day I cracked IITs. Till from that day, I had been mentoring students and I have mentored a lot of students, 30 to 40 students in these 2 years. And why I am doing mentoring in the first place? Because I had several backlogs in my BTech and I was even disqualified for campus placements back in the year 2016. I know what are the various problems that a student face while preparing for such companies, the mental setbacks, each and everything. So I always make sure that I support each and every students, like playing a role as an older brother. Okay, so as you can see, this is my intro. And I was also an educator for data structures algorithms, for Java, and for core computer science at top edtech companies, including Newton School and stuff. I'm also a public speaker and I have been mentoring students at over 20 plus universities. And yes, this is my short intro. Okay. And I have also attached a poll जो कि तुम लोग देख सकते हो. There I have answered as I have asked a question. Please answer it so that I get to know my audience a little bit well. The agenda of this session is I would be talking about the three main pillars that you need to focus on to get yourself eligible for a top product based company. Okay, and I would be discussing what are the major problems that a student face. Okay, why we are not getting off campus calls, what is the problem that we are making in a resume, what is the problem, what are those topics we are not focusing upon. I would be discussing upon this, and at the end I would be also telling how I can help you in your journey like an older brother. Okay, and I actually take these mentorship sessions really seriously. Okay, I not just mentor you for your career, but also for your personal growth. Okay, I am your friend, your mentor, your agony aunt, with whom you can discuss each and everything, including your relationship problems. Okay, because the problem is that most people are not able to focus upon their interviews or on a certain topic because of some baggage they are carrying either from the past or something. Okay, so as a process of this whole long-term mentorship sessions, I make sure that your mental health is also okay. Okay, and at the end I would be answering your questions. So if you have any doubt, kuch bhi doubt ho in this session, please do let me know in the chat box. Okay, and I would answer each and everything at the end. In the middle also I will answer certain questions. Okay, सबसे पहला चीज, the most important thing that you need to focus upon when you are preparing for any company is problem solving. Okay, so now understand, let us understand this. Is data structures and algorithms even relevant today? Okay, this is a very important question because the times are changing, companies are changing. Is DSA even asked? So let me tell you these two things. There are two kinds of companies broadly. One is startups and one is MNCs. Okay, now what, how does the startup functions? Startups को एक project assign की जाती है, they get a project, and the requirement is that they need to hire, let's say, a Spring Boot developer or a Java developer, और उनको React developers चाहिए. ठीक है, so they mostly hire candidates based upon that particular technology only. So if you know, let's say, Java or Spring Boot, or if you know Angular or React, depending upon the job description, you eventually get hired. They don't much care about problem solving. In some cases they do, but when the requirement is such that they need to hire, they mostly focus upon the technological aspect of the student. But now let's talk about MNCs. Okay, I myself am working in Qualcomm. Okay, but when I was hired, I was not hired based upon one single project or one single technology. Back here, when I'm working in Qualcomm, I have been working in tons and tons of technologies in so many languages because the projects keep on coming to our team. I was hired for a team. And right now I have been working on lots of projects. I had worked upon low memory chipset also. I've been working upon various optimization projects also, and so on and so forth. So the language and the technology is not a very important parameter back when I was hired. It was my fundamental knowledge of core computer science, my problem solving skills, how good I am in designing a system, and so on and so forth, depending upon the JD. Okay, so how relevant is data structures algorithms today? It's very, very relevant. And up to a certain period of time, it will be relevant because companies use this metric to assess how good a student is in computer science or logic ability. Okay? This is a thing that companies will use and will be using for a longer period of time. Clear? अब एक सवाल बच्चों के मन में आती है कि भैया ये सब तो ठीक है लेकिन लॉजिक बिल्ड नहीं हो पा रहा है. आई एम नॉट एबल टू build logic, or I'm not able to solve data structures and algorithms questions, or I'm facing problems कि algorithm तो आ जाती है, कोड लिखने में दिक्कत हो जाती है, या मुझे रिकर्शन समझ में ही नहीं आता, and so on and so forth. So this is, I would be answering this question in two important ways. First is, please follow a roadmap. बहुत सारे बच्चे क्या करते हैं कि सीधा सीधा रिकर्शन में पहुंच जाते हैं या सीधा डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग में पहुंच जाते हैं, बट दे डोंट हैव एन आइडिया ऑफ व्हाट रिकर्शन इज. दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द मैथमेटिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ टाइम एंड स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. ठीक है, दे हैव नॉट एनालाइज्ड the patterns carefully. They directly jump into trees without solving recursion, and so on and so forth. So point is, please follow a roadmap. There is a proper roadmap. First, in order to develop logic building when it comes to problem solving, solve simple patterns like printing square patterns or printing triangular pattern, and so on and so forth. उससे क्या होगा, फॉर लूप और वाइल लूप की अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ जाएगी कि यार ये फॉर लूप वाइल लूप काम कैसे करता है. Firstly, you need to be familiar कि यार कोड करता क्या है, because eventually you need to be at a level. If I give you an algorithm, you need to code it very easily because coding is just a language. Algorithm is the difficult part. Okay, so firstly start with a roadmap कि अपन patterns करेंगे सबसे पहले, simple patterns, उसके बाद simple array based problems, उसके बाद हार्ड एरे बेस्ड प्रॉब्लम्स, देन स्ट्रिंग्स, देन लर्न रिकर्शन, देन गो टू लिंक लिस्ट एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. एंड में अपन डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग और ग्राफ्स करेंगे. सो पैटर्न एंड रोड मैप इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Nowadays you can find roadmap anywhere in the internet, so that is not a problem that I think that students will face. ठीक है. फिर एक प्रॉब्लम आती है पैटर्न्स को लेके. व्हाट इज द पैटर्न्स? इफ आई टॉक अबाउट डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम्स, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम्स एज अ होल कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू सेवरल बकेट्स. दीज बकेट्स आर कॉल्ड एज पैटर्न्स. और कोई भी प्रॉब्लम उन्हीं बकेट्स में से गिरती है. फॉर एग्जांपल, बाइनरी सर्च इज अ टूल, but it's a pattern also. For example, given a sorted array, I just need to apply binary search. But do you think that binary search का application सिर्फ और सिर्फ sorted array में होती है? नहीं. If I rotated sorted array, वहां पे भी एक application है, तो it's a pattern, the sorted array kind of pattern. Another pattern is given a search space, I have to find a particular solution. So वहां पे binary search दिख नहीं रहा है, but you need to figure out कि यार इसमें binary search लगेगा. कैसे? You need to solve problems from that particular pattern itself. Similarly, dynamic programming की अगर बात करें तो longest increasing subsequence is a pattern. उससे बहुत सारे questions बनते हैं. Longest common subsequence is a pattern. Matrix chain multiplication जो 3D है, that's a pattern जहाँ पे अपन gap method use करते हैं. So are you understanding कि पूरा का पूरा data structures and algorithms को अपन छोटे छोटे patterns में divide कर सकते हैं. Or patterns wise, we can solve like 5 to 10 questions on that pattern. And that helps us to get a mastery over the entire data structures and algorithms. Okay. So the point is that most people do a mistake. They solve, let's say 600 to 700 to 800 questions of lead code. And then they feel they can get confident on a particular subject. It doesn't matter. The quality is always important than quantity. Okay. It's always important. Okay. If you identify relevant patterns, okay, and you solve 5 to 10 questions of that, ranging from easy, medium, hard, okay, and understanding that which is your weakness area and so on and so forth, and then start solving, you will eventually able to get a good grasp of data structures and algorithms even by doing 150 to 200 questions. ये नहीं कि 10-15 questions किया and you get masters. You need to do at least 200 questions to get a master of data structures and algorithms. Okay. So as a part of long-term mentorship, what I do is I give my students कि यार ये questions तुम कर लो within a week. I set them a week plan. I set them a week goal. So these are the questions that you need to do by the end of this week. And I am the person who would be giving you questions based upon the patterns I have identified when I was preparing. So that is the assistance that I can help you along with solving your technical doubts and everything. And another एक प्रॉब्लम जो आजकल हो रही है, दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ टूडेज एज, कि यार रिसोर्सेस बहुत ज्यादा है ना. वी हैव टन्स एंड टन्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेस, बट ये समझ नहीं आती कि कौन सी रिसोर्स अच्छी है. Every other YouTuber is trying to set up a data structures and algorithms course. It's not a problem. They are trying to give their best, but problem is that now we are facing from entropy. Too much resources आ गए. अब पढ़ना कहाँ से है? That is another very important question that aspirants have in their mind. ठीक है, क्या हम पेड कोर्स ले, क्या हम अनपेड कोर्स ले? अगर फ्री कोर्स है तो क्या वो सही होगा? Let me burst you this myth कि फ्री कोर्सेस सही है. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कौन से फ्री कोर्स से कौन सा टॉपिक पढ़े. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट बाइनरी सर्च, कुछ यूट्यूबर्स के कुछ वीडियोस बाइनरी सर्च में एक्सेलेंट है, but that particular channel does not have grasp on dynamic programming और उनका कोर्स कंप्लीट नहीं होता. और इन द सिमिलर सेंस कभी ऐसा होता है कि डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग का टैबुलर डीपी अगर तुम देखोगे, पेप कोडिंग इज एक्सेलेंट इन टैबुलर डीपी, बट व्हेन इन रिकर्सिव डीपी, आदित्य वर्मा is excellent. So the resources nowadays in the internet is extremely scattered. Some topics are extremely well taught by certain YouTubers, but some topics are left untouched. Okay, so this is the thing, and that I can help you with. I would be the person who would be helping you with कि कौन से resources से कौन से topics पढ़नी है, कौन से patterns करनी है. But coming to the question, yes, problem solving is very, very important, and you need to give कॉन्टेस्ट्स. ठीक है, लीड कोड कॉन्टेस्ट. ये नहीं कि कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग पे चले जाओ. कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग अनदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. इट्स नॉट वेरी रेलेवेंट. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट कि यू नीड टू डू कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग लेवल इन ऑर्डर टू क्रैक product based companies. I myself have not done competitive programming, and neither of my friends who have been placed in, let's say, Amazon, Microsoft, Google in the case, they have not done competitive programming to a level. Okay, but they have really focused upon data structures and algorithms. So yes, you need to do contests, lead code contests after you complete the whole of data structures and algorithms. I will help you with that. And another mock interview is very necessary. Most बच्चे क्या करते हैं कि सीधा सीधा इंटरव्यू देने की कोशिश करते हैं. Mock interviews is something that you need to give at least 20 to 30 mocks before you start getting into the real world, because mock interview से वो डर निकल जाएगा. You would be able to understand how confidently you need to answer a questions. ठीक है. And second thing, how to answer a question, what are the doubts that you need to ask to the interviewer, so that you get to understand the input statement really well. Okay, so these are some of the topics. I would be the person who would be helping you with mock interviews. मैं every कोशिश यही करता हूँ कि every 2 weeks में एक mock interview लूँ to assess my mentees strength and weakness. Okay, so this is the first pillar that I've discussed, problem solving. Okay, if you have any questions related to problem solving, you can, okay, please try to explain in English. Okay, I would be doing it. If you have any questions now, you can ask me related to problem solving or what we have discussed so far. Okay. Sir, please suggest me which language is best for non-IT students. Okay. So when it comes to best language, so please choose a language, firstly, which is object-oriented programming language. And secondly, a lot of companies actually work upon it. Okay. So basically, it's a leading technology that is working for a lot of companies. So I would be suggesting Java, because Java, firstly, it's object or pure object-oriented programming language. Secondly, it can be used in order to develop backend frameworks like Spring Boot. It is a relevant technology in lots and lots of companies. You can do open source with it. So yes, Java is something that I would be suggesting. Okay. So please suggest good projects based upon current scenario. When it comes to good projects, what I can talk to you about is the tech stack that you need to working with. Based upon current scenario, always web development is the best stream to go into. Why? Because a lot of jobs is on web development. Okay, so if you take web development and if you build projects, let's say on burn stack, on mean stack, so that is the number one project that I could actually advise you to work upon, because a lot of companies actually work upon these particular tech stack. Okay, don't just go into machine learning and data science just because it's a facade or a lot of people are working upon it. Please understand that the requirement of machine learning or data science in today's time is less. It doesn't mean that it's less as in it's impossible. Yes, opportunities are there. Opportunities are even there in the area that I am working in. I'm working in low level systems. Okay, but the opportunities are less. Okay, so that's the thing. So the best projects that I can recommend you is working upon web development. Okay. uh Okay. Which is the best language to make good projects, C++ or Java or any other language? Choose Java. Okay. But when it comes to project, try to make a full stack project where you have front end. Please try to make front end using a framework, let's say a React or Angular, that will help the interviewer understand that you have a good hold on front end frameworks. And back end, you can make using Java or Spring Boot. And for database, you can choose SQL or NoSQL. Okay, but try to make a web development project, because in today's scenario the jobs are still much greater in web development, and then it comes as an Android development or an iOS developer, and then comes as a data scientist or a machine learning, and then comes as an embedded systems profile, which works upon companies like Apple or ARM type companies. Okay, so there are lots and lots of jobs out there, but yes, web development still leads. Okay. Okay, so let me talk about another very important aspect, and after that, I would be answering all your questions. Okay, the second aspect is core computer science and system design. Most students don't like get a good grasp on these topics. Okay, when they are applying for interviews, please don't do this mistake, because a lot of companies, especially when you talk about Microsoft, Amazon, these kinds of companies, they do focus on operating systems. But when it comes to operating system based companies like, let's say, Microsoft or an Apple, they will definitely ask. Even ARM kind companies like Qualcomm, uh, Western Digital, okay, which is nothing but SanDisk, let's say Apple, okay, Nvidia, these companies definitely focus on operating systems, Linux and system programming. So when it comes to operating systems, Bhaiya, do we need to know each and everything about operating systems? No. There are certain topics that you need to be familiar about, like you need to know what are the various forms of interprocess communications. Okay, you need to know what is socket programming. Okay, and little bit things like what is a real-time operating system, etc. Definitely, I would be the person who would be giving you all the free resources, including my notes on what to study from operating systems, and take you tons and tons of mock interviews on this topic. But yes, don't ignore operating systems, because companies do ask operating systems. This is the number one core computer science subject that is asked. Second, database and SQL. Database management system is another very important topic. Okay, you obviously don't need to understand database to a gate level, like you don't need to get into the depth of functional dependencies and closures and everything, but you need to understand how does a database work, what is the difference between SQL database and non-SQL database, and some relevant core database questions. Okay, SQL, very, very important topic when you are applying for any product based company. There is a very high chance. Okay, there is a chance, not this every company will ask you SQL, but there is a chance that companies will ask you SQL. So you have to be confident in basically writing a SQL query. Okay, he will give you a problem statement and you have to be familiar with writing a SQL query. There are tons and tons of free resources also when it comes to SQL. I would be helping you with it. Okay, now comes the part is how much SQL is important. When you are applying for product based companies, for let's say SDE roles, software development engineer roles, SQL is important, but not very important. They can ask you or they cannot ask you. But if you are applying for data engineering roles, SQL is extremely important. So if you are planning to become a data engineer, SQL is something that will be definitely asked, or definitely asked to. Okay. Now let's talk about computer networks. Computer networks is not very much asked. If you tell the interviewer that I'm not very comfortable in computer networks, sometimes it's okay. But if you are applying in companies like, let's say, Cisco or Tejas Networks or networking based companies, definitely they would require a good grasping knowledge of computer networks. Okay. Obviously, I would be helping you with all the free resources and my notes that I have used to grasp computer networks. Now, let's talk about aptitude. Please don't ever miss out on aptitude, because aptitude is a thing that is asked in online assessments. It's very, very important. If you are targeting banks, let's say you are targeting JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, that aptitude is tough and they focus upon aptitude. Okay. So, and in general, product based companies do ask aptitude in online assessments. Even when I was interviewing for Qualcomm R&D, they did ask me aptitude in my online assessment. And even when I cleared the Oracle interview, the Oracle also asked me aptitude. Okay, it was something off campus. So the point is, when it comes to aptitude, online assessment se pucha jata hai. And another thing is puzzles. Puzzles is something that will always be asked to you in interviews. Okay, mostly in the HR route. Okay, and another important trend that I am seeing in my mentees is they are asking system design. Most of the companies, they are asking system design, LLD, a little bit of HLD to freshers also. Okay, so even when I was interviewing for urban company, they had a specific round, okay, for LLD. Okay, specific LLD round when they asked me to design a car rental system. The point is that low level system design and high level system design to an extent is something that you need to work upon, because there is a very high chance that mid-range startups and even MNCs, like the probability is less for MNCs, but mid-range startups will ask you LLD. Okay, so yes, system design is something that you need to focus upon too. Okay, and okay, so now let me take another some questions. Okay, is it necessary to know about LLD and HLD if preparing for front end developer? Pooja is asking. So if you are applying for a front end developer in startups, like if they have a requirement they just want React developer or Angular developer, sometimes they won't ask you about LLD and HLD, but it's always important to get a good grasp of system design if you are preparing. okay, for any front-end developer role or back-end developer role, because it will always help you. Because there is a chance that mid-range startups will ask you that. हो सकता है low level startups won't ask you, because my friend, uh, one of my friend, he is in a very good agrotech startup company. They did ask him about system design, okay, specifically about LLD. Even Oracle asked me about HLD. Okay, so yes, even if you are preparing for front-end developers, it is. Sir, my application is not getting shortlisted even after having all the skills mentioned in JD and applied and applying through reference. Hi, Shakun. First of all, uh, when you are saying all the skills mentioned in JD, first thing is that you need to have, as I say, all the, I would be discussing in the upcoming slide, all the projects that is relevant for that particular job description and relevant keywords. That gives you a very good ATS score. But I feel that you are doing all of these things and you are not making mistakes in making resume, and still you are not getting calls. Sometimes in this market situation, what actually happens is that the market is quite unstable. Yes, the market is reviving, but right now also the market is quite unstable. We are not getting calls. Like I myself have referred a lot of students in Qualcomm, but for some of the other reasons, the projects are getting shelved, and due to this the requirement is getting closed, and that is why the calls, they are not getting calls. So don't get disheartened, because the market situation is not that great that it was in the year 2021. Please understand me, in the year 2021, getting into a top product based company, let's say Amazon or Google, over hiring का time चल रहा था, where they would hire a lots and lots of students, okay, जहाँ पे तुम्हें LinkedIn पे दिखता था कि यार he is also in Google, he is in Amazon, he is in Microsoft and so on. वो दौर चला गया है. Now at this point of time, getting an interview call, yes, it's a bit difficult. If you are applying in, let's say, 30 or let's say 50 companies, the chance of getting calls is just 5%. You can get calls from just, let's say, 3 or 4, and the chance of getting converted to an interview is just 1 or 2. Okay, so the thing, it is existing right now, but please make sure, please get your resume reviewed from me, so that I can get to know what is your resume look like. Is all the projects mentioned or not? Clickable links are mentioned or not? Is it a one-page resume or stuff? And secondly, all the skills are mentioned according to the JD or not? Is this something that I need to mentor you upon? And yes, okay. So before seeing your resume, I cannot really tell. So, but yes, I just give you a reality check of what is actually happening right now. Okay, I myself also have a Telegram community. Okay, there is about 1000 plus students, and we post job opportunities there, and I am mentoring a lot of students there also. So yes, I can see that lots and lots of students are not getting calls, even if, okay, so this is the thing that is. CGPA is a matter for placement. How much required? CGPA, uh, when you are trying for on-campus placements, okay, it's very required. Okay, it's extremely required, because when it comes to on-campus placements, the companies usually come with a CGPA cutoff. For example, if Walmart comes, mostly they have a CGPA of 8 pointer, and some, at least in most of the colleges. So yes, CGPA does matter when you are targeting for on-campus placements. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if you have a low CGPA, it is the end of the world. Absolutely not. In off-campus placements, you can definitely try. Okay, if you are not getting ample amount of chance in your on-campus. And when it comes to off-campus, if your CGPA is low, please don't mention it in your resume. Okay, don't mention it in your resume, so that CGPA becomes a criteria that you will be disqualified. So don't mention it in your resume, and try to apply in as much companies. If you have the relevant skills, again I'm telling you, if you have the relevant skills, CGPA won't really matter. But if your skills is at par with a student who has better CGPA than you, then obviously CGPA will matter in that case. Okay, but if an interviewer sees that if you have a lot of problem solving skills, your projects are good, these are clickable links, and you have explained a lot of tech stack in that particular project. For example, if you have a MERN stack project and you have deployed it using DevOps principles, you know each and every keyword that is present in your resume, be it like Docker, Kubernetes, etc. So, and you have some open source contribution, or if you have some hackathon contribution, or your performance in competitive exams is really good, anything. So definitely at that point of time, you will have a edge, much greater edge than that person who has, let's say, a 9 pointer CGPA from a tier 3 college, obviously. Okay. Okay, so I would be going on with my session, and then at the last, I will take again your question. So don't worry. Okay. Okay. So now what I will talk about is the thing that I was discussing right now is resume and projects. Okay. So first I have discussed there are three pillars only. These three hacks. First is problem solving, be good with it. Second, understanding core computer science and design. And thirdly, resume and projects. And now when it comes to resume, very important thing is what mostly students do. They take one single resume, okay, and they apply it to each and every company like Microsoft हो गया, Google हो गया, startup हो गया, urban company हो गया, Oracle हो गया. So they apply that particular resume in all the companies. Please don't ever do that. You need to tweak your resume depending upon the job description you are applying to. For example, you are applying in my company, let's say Qualcomm, okay. So Qualcomm is always interested in C and C++ developers. Okay? Most of the job roles here are focused upon C and C++ roles. They don't really care about your full stack projects. Okay, but if Qualcomm is hiring for internal application development tools or teams that work upon internal application, for example, in Qualcomm we have all the various internal applications like हमारा खुद का ID, we have our own IDE and each and everything. Okay, so in order to develop that, yes, they need full stack projects. Okay, they need candidates who are good with full stack also. But the point is, please understand that if you are applying for a relevant JD, for example, I am applying for C and C++ roles, my full stack projects won't play a very important role. I have to communicate to the interviewer my work in system programming, okay, or projects which I've done specifically in Linux, or how well I know about system programming, or I have built, let's say, a management system using just C programming, and so on and so forth. So that projects will actually help you to get an edge over companies like Qualcomm or ARM kind of companies, or Nvidia, and so on and so forth. So now when I am applying to, let's say, Amazon, and it's clearly written that want a they always want good problem solving skills, and they want certain candidates for this kinds of team who works upon, let's say, DevOps. So you need to showcase your DevOps project really well. Okay, are you understanding? So you need to tweak a resume or add the projects that fit into that particular JD. And obviously you need to include that keywords, okay, that helps you in that particular job description. And the another thing is, please make a one-page resume. Obviously, I think that most of the people know it by now, that interviewers don't have a time greater than 10 seconds to actually see a particular resume. So boldify each and every technology that you have worked upon. Okay, that is very important. Try to mention at least three projects, at most three projects, not at least, at max three projects. It's not you made a particular calculator, or you made a, let's say, a small website using HTML and CSS. Please don't mention those kinds of projects, because these come under minor project. Okay, and this is not very impressive, because that won't, and you have included, let's say, 7 or 8 projects, but all the 8 projects are nothing but showcasing your HTML, CSS. You have made one, let's say, a calculator, you have made one website, and so on and so forth. So that is not very impressive. But if you have, let's say, 2 projects, but one project is showcasing how you made a full stack application starting from scratch using variety of technologies, okay, you know about databases, everything, and you also have deployed using, let's say, Docker, Kubernetes, etc. So that will actually help you get an interviewer. Okay, this guy knows a lot of technologies, let me go deep into that particular project. And when you are mentioning a project, make sure that you know everything about that project. Copy paste and all won't really work in the real world, because interviewers are really smart. Okay, so nowadays, now there is a concept of not just managers but techno managers. So interviewers really know, they mostly are either SD3 or staff software engineer. They really know about the tech stack that you are basically trying to impress them with. So they will definitely ask you some kinds of questions. So firstly, understand your projects really well, get to know ki what are the various tech stack, why you have used that particular tech stack. Okay, what is the problem statement that you are trying to solve, what are the various problems that you have faced while developing that particular project, your contribution. If you are working in a group project, each and everything you must know. Obviously I would have resume sessions, I would be asking you various questions as a part of long term mentorship about your project, so that I get to know how well you know about your project. Okay, so yes, uh, another thing, most students believe that they would ask certificates, that they have, let's say, done a course from Coding Ninjas, or they have done a course from, let's say, Newton School or any kind of company, and they have done some attended some particular boot camp. These things doesn't matter at all. Okay, so please refrain yourself from mentioning certifications. But yes, if it's a top level certifications, like if you have a CCNA certification from Cisco, that you can definitely mention, because this is a top level certification. Okay, so certifications from these edtech companies won't matter. Okay, so refrain yourself from putting these certifications. And another thing is that how will an interviewer know that you have good problem solving skills? So if you have got a good rank, let's say in Geeks for Geeks, or if you have participated in ICPC or something like that, some coding achievements, or you can even mention that you have solved 400 or 500 plus problems in lead code. That will help you get interviewer get an idea, or even the person who is referring you into a particular company get an idea, यार ये बच्चे को तो problem solving आती है. So if any student asks me from referral, I always tell them to mention your problem solving abilities to me, so that I find you a suitable candidate or not. Okay. So yes, resume and projects is something that is again important. Okay. So let me take a certain questions from you. Okay. You can ask your questions, and then we will move on to the last segment of the session. How much ATS score is good for resume? I believe that if you have an ATS score of above 80%, that's a good score. Hello, sir. Can I now get a better product-based company, or is it too late? I'm 2023 graduate. Absolutely not. 2023 graduate is obviously not late, because if you prepare your skills really well, and you focus on the topics that I have mentioned in this particular session, these three pillars, then definitely you can get a good product based company. Right now, the market is reviving. I can see a lot of my mentees are getting calls from companies. Okay, earlier they don't used to get the calls, and now they are getting the calls. So yes, the chances are there, definitely. Bro, I'm studying BCA. Am I eligible for SDE roles? You have to do your MCA, and after that MCA, you would be qualified as a BTech software engineer. So at that point of time, you would be eligible for a lot of SDE roles. But there would be exceptions. If you are an exceptional candidate who has some really good skills, start in startups, you may find a chance, because there has been few students in my community, even from a BCA, they have got into top startups because they were excellent in development, let's say in React or Angular, or they were very good in some let's say data science or something like that. They have, yes, got a job. Okay. Brief of the session, please join late, like the bullet points for SDE roles. Okay, so when it comes to SD roles, again, the thing is that I have mentioned three important pillars. Firstly, don't neglect your problem solving skills. Problem solving is something that you need to focus upon. Secondly, please make your projects, your resume as per of the job description. That is very important. And third thing is core computer science skills. Okay, so these are the three important things that you need to focus upon. The resources nowadays are scattered, so definitely as a part of an LTM, I would be the one who would provide you with all the resources, all the mentorship that is required for you to get a top product business. And now let's talk about how can I help you in long to long mentorship. Is that when most of the students are facing these kinds of doubt, is what to focus upon, what resources to focus upon, how to apply off campus, and so on and so forth. I would be helping you with each and everything in your preparation. I myself give my personal phone number also as a part of a long term mentorship, where I can discuss each and every day what you have studied, what you are facing problems with. If you are facing any negative thoughts as well, I would be the one who would be helping you with each and everything. Okay, giving you the proper resources, what to focus upon. Okay, and we would be also defining a timeline, like what is your week plan, what is your month plan. And it would be extremely dynamic depending upon the problems you face or the problems I face when I'm taking a mock interview. For example, if I'm seeing that your binary search is weak, definitely I would be giving you problems, good quality problems from binary search also. If I see your project is weak, I would be helping you to make project, and so on and so on. Okay, so yes, this is a thing. And at the end, I would be also helping you with referrals from me, from my IIT, triple IT community, from my friends, etc. Definitely referrals is something that would definitely help you with. Okay, and yeah, timely follow-ups. Yes, mostly every day I would be following you up in WhatsApp. Okay, and every week we will have at least one session. So yes, if you have any questions related to uh, this particular long-term mentorship that I am doing with Preplaced, you can definitely reach me out here, okay, in the text, in the chat box. And my major motivation to do this long-term mentorship is basically uh, the problems that I had faced in my life back then when I was even a backlog student. I was disqualified for campus placements. Till then, till now, what are the problems I faced? What are the resources and the topics that I mastered upon to crack 40 LPA plus jobs is something that I'm interested in to mentor you. So yes, that is my agenda. That is my honest truth. Sir, please provide best free resources for data structures and algorithms. Akash, when it comes to data structures and algorithms, so there is not one best free resource that is for each and every. For example, a company called as Pep Coding, it has done excellent work. It has done excellent work in some data structures and algorithms. Aditya Verma is excellent for recursive dynamic programming. Kunal Kushwaha, another person, he is excellent when it comes to binary search and some topics. Okay, he's also very good in object oriented programming. Oops, but he has not completed the syllabus. So there are lots and lots of Striver is also very good when it comes to advanced interview problems. There are certain problems he has experienced extremely well. Okay, so there is not one resource that can cover everything. The resources are scattered. Okay, yeah, so it just need to, you just need to identify. I will help you with identifying what is the best resource for that particular topic. So this way I can do it. Okay, uh yes, Shalini, you can ask your question. What is the duration of LTM? It depends upon you. You can book a trial session with me. You can tell me all your problems that you are facing, and after I get to know your problems, we I and you would be discussing the duration of the long term mentorship. Sir, your Telegram channel. Okay, I will just give you the link. Is 1 month internship enough from you to get placed or more? Janvi, if you are in a good position, depending upon your position, yes, 1 month mentorship is also enough. Okay, if I see that your data structures and algorithms are good, if I will obviously take a mock interview to see where you stand. If your core computer science skills are good, your resume is good, we have to bit work on certain aspects, and definitely we can get placed in 1 month or so. Yes. 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 uh, हाँ यार मेरा, I will just share my Telegram community link. Ahmed Jaja is saying Kunal's recursion is awesome level. Absolutely. Kunal Kushwaha's recursion topic is, yes, I would say it's one of the best explained videos in the entirety of YouTube. So I agree with you. Kunal Kushwaha's recursion is really good. Okay. And recursion is something that, yes, you need to master. How LinkedIn help us to get referrals? Yes, LinkedIn is a great way to get referrals. Firstly, the best way is to get from your seniors. That's the best way. But if you don't have seniors, for example, a lot of students belong to tier 3 and tier 4 college. So yes, LinkedIn comes a very important part to get reference. Firstly, you need to give a very you need to post a message to your friend whom you are getting referrals with. Okay, and that message should be really well drafted. For example, you need to talk about firstly your introduction. Okay, which college you are belonging to, which job description you want to apply to in that particular company. Okay, obviously you need to showcase your resume. In 1 or 2 lines, tell me why you are interested in the job role. Basically your achievements. If you have some phenomenal achievement, please mention it. Obviously it should be within 6 to 7 lines. Okay, and mention the job ID also. Okay, बहुत सारे बच्चे when it comes to me, they basically tell me, please refer me. How can I refer you without knowing you? Or please refer me, I need a job. Or please refer me, my mother is sick, or something like that. Okay, so don't ever do that mistake, or don't stop with a hi or hello. For example, hi Ribu, please don't do that. You can mention everything. This is the job ID, this is why I'm referring to your company. Okay, so yes, this is a very good way to get reference. The link is not working. I see it's working. uh, how can we switch from testing to SDE? Okay, so when it comes to switching, so this particular session that I've talked about, all the main three important pillars, Shalini, these three things are again required if you want to switch. Okay, if you want to, let's say, switch from testing to SDE, or if you want to switch from, let's say, any other domain to SDE, these three will help. First important thing is, please make a good project. Okay, the project should be suitable to a SDE role. For example, you have made a mean stack project or merge stack project, you have deployed it using DevOps or etc. So that will help you to get an interviewer that, okay, this particular student knows the entire software development lifecycle, knows how to basically design a particular software, worked in wireframes. Okay, knows these various technologies, and eventually knows how to deploy. Okay, now let me ask more questions based upon his or her project. So make a good project. Firstly, make a good project so that your resume highlights, and obviously focus upon your problem solving and core computer science skills. This thing is always there. Okay, what is the average starting CTC for SDE1 roles? Uh, okay, when it comes to SDE1 roles, it depends upon the job description also. Okay, for example, where like, are you a React developer? Are you just a front end developer? Are you just a full stack developer? It depends. Okay, and it also depends upon a lot of things, like which company are you applying to and everything. So starting salary, let's take it to be 5 to 6 LPA. Okay, but it also depends. For a front end developer, it's 5 to 6 LPA. For a back end developer, it's 7 to 8 LPA. For a full stack developer, we can expect something around 8 to 9 LPA. Okay, so there's a lot of things. For example, if you are applying in Microsoft, the software engineering salary, the CTC is something around 40 to 45 LPA. In Amazon also, it's 40 to 45 LPA. In Qualcomm also, it's the same. So yeah, it highly depends upon the companies, but for starting, yes. Can you share some problem statements or project ideas? Okay, so one of the problem statement that I worked upon back in my day is what I made up a project on, is that in let's say doctors. Okay, so there are various kinds of doctors, primary doctor, secondary doctor, etc. So in various kinds of villages, these doctors are not actually trained with a lot of medical stuff. Okay, so basically we made a software that could help assist these doctors in order to determine which kind of disease the patient is suffering from. So it would be set of questionnaire, and that questionnaire will help you to get an idea. Okay, this guy is suffering from, let's say, epilepsy, or this guy is suffering from fever or tuberculosis, etc. So we prepared this questionnaire, and that questionnaire would be static questionnaire, and that questionnaire will lead to questionnaire 2, questionnaire 3, and finally a diagnostic chart that will help the doctor to decide which is the disease that patient is suffering from. So this was a very good project to explain. And another project that you can talk, that you can discuss about is, yeah, I mean, it depends upon, we also made up a project similar to preplaced also, in back in the day. Okay, so preplaced is something that basically connects mentees and mentors, right? So it's a very good full stack project. So we worked upon such a project back in my day also. Okay, so we made a portal that consists of mentors and mentees. There would be bunch of questionnaires, bunch of this thing, so similar to that of preplaced. So yeah, so one project that I could talk about is that in cities, in metropolitan cities, there are several problems related to roads. Okay, construction problems is that the tube well is not working, or the street light is not working, or the roads are not maintained. In that case, that particular citizen can register a lodge complaint, and that particular complaint can be managed by a site, and that particular site can also tell you that this problem is solved within how many days, and so on and so forth. So basically complaint registering portal is something that you can also work upon. So yes, there are tons and tons of ideas which we can discuss. You can also give your inputs. Okay. Bro, currently I'm studying BC. Which language is best to start from scratch? Is C good to start? I always recommend my mentees to start from C. I have a very strong reason for it. Most people start from Python, most people start from Java. If you are in final year, okay, if you are in final year or just looking for a job, like you want a job in 2 to 3 months, obviously I won't tell you to start from C, start from Java, obviously. But if you are a beginner, please start from C programming language, because C programming language, firstly, it's the mother of all programming languages. Secondly, it would help you to understand how to access memory. What is the concept of a pointer? What is the concept of a structure? What is memory corruption? Okay, so these are the things that help us to understand the memory really well, is something that I want you as a computer science engineering student to understand. Okay, Java may we cannot access the memory, right? But C programming languages, it is used in low level systems. For example, if you want to develop a chip, it is always made using C programming language. Why? Because we need to debug the memory in a very efficient way. Okay, so start with C. Okay, that will help you to get a very good understanding of computer science, and that will help you throughout life. Web development knowledge required for entry level job. Okay, so when it comes to web development, specifically when it comes to web development, it is divided into three parts. Okay, one is front end development, one is back end development, and one is full stack development. So if you have decided ki bhaiya, I want to become a very good front end developer, please understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. For vanilla JavaScript, I would highly recommend Akshay Saini. Akshay Saini's YouTube channel, best for JavaScript. Okay, so when it comes to web development, first understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then pick up any web development framework. I would be advising you to pick up React and try to build at least 2 to 3 projects specifically on React. Get an understanding of what is models, what is React hooks, okay, and each and everything about React. And once you have done that, you can start applying only for React developer roles. That is always there. You can do it. That won't require a very good understanding of data structures and algorithms, because now you would be applying to startups. Okay, the package would be something around 5 to 6 LPS, but yes, this is always there. Or you can focus upon making a full stack project. Understanding React, understanding Spring Boot Java or Node.js, and any kind of databases, let's say SQLDB or MongoSQL or Postgres, etc., and make a full stack project. And then you can apply for various web development roles as a full stack development engineer. This is also there. Can you provide resources after? Yes, Ankat, yes, Namaste JavaScript. मैं भूल गया था नाम. Yes, Namaste JavaScript is a playlist that is very, very good for JavaScript. Okay, so web development knowledge. If you want to get into full stack, try to make a MERN stack project. Okay, or even you can go into a React or specifically for backend developer roles also. Okay, depending what you want. I'm doing DSA in CPP, and for development, I've chosen Flutter. Is it good? Yes, no problem. Okay. When you are doing DSA in CPP, it's not a problem. You can choose anything C++ or Java. It's okay. Okay. Can you provide resources after the session in some doc form or something? The problem with resources is that, yes, the resources are extremely scattered and depending upon the topic. For example, in this session itself, I have told about it for JavaScript, refer this, for this particular data structure, refer this, and so on and so forth. So yes, it depends. I cannot mention every resource in just one single doc. What I can do as a part of a trial session, I can help you with some resources, or in LTM, I can definitely help you with each and every resource. Okay. Uh, how to prepare for a Java interview? Okay, so when it comes to Java interview, okay, specifically if you are focusing upon Java related roles, I am assuming that you are preparing for Java backend. Firstly, understand that which role of Java you are applying to, because Java is a broad programming, right? So now, firstly, you have to understand Java really, really well. Do data structures and algorithms with Java. At least you need to have 150 to 200 problems specifically where you have coded in Java. You have to know about Java collections. Okay, very, very important for Java collections. One of the best interview for object oriented programming, I would be recommending Kunal Kushwaha. Okay, that is very good. And another object oriented programming, if you want in Hindi, I would be, I don't really recollect that channel. It was Programming Made Easy or something like that. That was very good for OOPS related concept. Okay, I have to see. Okay, so that channel is also very good for Java related concepts. Okay, for example, the whole Java architecture, the Java memory. Okay, the Java collections. Okay, the design aspect of Java. Always understand the design classes of Java also before you are going for a Java interview. Okay, so these are some of the topics I would be recommending. Programming made, I will just check. उसका नाम क्या था? I guess it was Programming Made Easy. Uh, नहीं नहीं, it was not Programming Made Easy. It was Smart Programming. Smart Programming. That particular channel is very good for Java. Okay, so you can refer that particular channel. Is starting YouTube channel as a student in teaching tutorials what I know? Yes, Sandeep, starting a YouTube channel where you would be teaching tutorials is a very good way. Okay, it's a very good way because I myself have done that. I've started a YouTube channel where I was teaching data structures and algorithms as a part of Newton School, and that helped me to understand data structures and algorithms really, really well. I would tell you, because once you start teaching somebody, you understand, okay, this is the thing that I never knew. Okay, so yes, you can start from teaching. Don't do it to get views or comments or everything. Do it to become an expert in your topic. Okay, so yes, you can do it. Jatin is asking me, I have kept 4 projects in my resume and 2 of them are based on MERN stack. Do I need to build using different tech stack? You don't need to. It's good that you have 4 projects and 2 of them are based on MERN stack. I highly recommend you. It should be a clickable link. Please deploy it if you have not deployed it, and you don't need to build using any other tech stack. You can apply with this resume to as many to companies. Okay, and if you can, please schedule something with me so that I can check your resume. I can ask questions. For the role of web development, what topic should we cover to face interview? Please cover JavaScript. Understanding of JavaScript is very, very important when it comes to web development interview. And obviously, if you have worked upon React, get understanding of React topics, theoretical topics really, really well. What is React hooks and so on and so forth. Okay, and also understand why you have, what are the pros and cons of a particular tech stack. Like why have people shifted from Angular to React? Is React better than Angular? If not, why, and so on and so forth. And yes, vanilla JavaScript or JavaScript is something that you need to be very good with, because you can expect a lot of theoretical questions on JavaScript. They would be asking you to write a code also if you are applying for jobs. So not able to book session, the reserve slot button is inaccessible. Uh, okay, my manager Dhruv would definitely reach out to you and get your doubts cleared related to this particular thing. Sir, please send your LinkedIn ID. Okay, just send my LinkedIn. So you can see my LinkedIn ID. Sir, what is used in game development? C hash is something that is used in game development. So yes, if you have a very good understanding of C hash, then you can try to get it. Absolutely. Asynchronous JavaScript and EC6 concept, ES6 concepts part is very important. Yes. And you can find all of these things in Namaste JavaScript. Okay. The YouTube channel of Akshay Saini. Yes. I have not gone through his paid courses as of now, but yes, I have gone through his free courses, the Namaste JavaScript part. So it is top notch. It is excellent. Okay. Okay. So yes, it has been an hour. I would be closing of the session now. I really, really hope that I have added value to your life. Okay. If you have any other question, you can definitely reach out to me in my LinkedIn. And I would also apologize if you have raised a questions in my LinkedIn, but I have not replied so far. Sometimes it happens is that the number of messages in LinkedIn is so many that I don't have the time to reply to each and everybody. In that case, you can mail me. Okay. When it comes to service-based companies, I have seen many people they don't know skills, how it works. I have seen many people they don't know skills. Okay, so basically you are referring that when it comes to service-based companies, the employees there are not skilled enough. Okay, so that doesn't happen always. It very much depends upon the projects they are assigned into. But yes, majority of the students, majority of the employees, they don't get good enough projects, and sometimes they are benched because the projects are shelved, and at that point of time they don't get relevant skills, or sometimes they are working upon projects that are not helping them in their skills. In that cases they are not skilled. But a lot of mentees also, they have switched from service-based companies to product-based companies, and now they are at top product-based companies. Most of the students, they had at least 2 years or 3 years experience in TCS or Accenture, and they have right now. So yeah. But yes, upskilling is very much necessary when it comes to service-based companies. So if you have got a good project, superb. If you have not got a good project, you have to give ample amount of time outside your office hours in upskilling yourself in order to crack a top product-based company. Okay. I will close off the session for now. Thank you to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vibhu, for your time. Like you answered each and every question that was there on the chat. I am like really impressed. Even a lot of mentees also were asking questions. So thanks a lot for your time. Thank you everyone for joining in. The meeting is recorded, so the recording would be soon shared with you and uploaded on the website only. And you can also download the PPT. In the meantime, if you like want to know more about how Vibhu can help you out in the long term, you can book a free trial session. The link is already shared in the chat. So I'll be ending the meeting now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.